This is Sargo's brand new 45. It's the largest boat they've ever built. The largest before was a 36. They're going seriously big league with this one, but it's keeping very much to the Sargo ethos. You can see here they're very practical, finish built walk-around boats. Now I'm going to point out this one very briefly because this is the standard finish with the stainless steel rails and the white hull. The Explorer pack is the black rails and the dark grey or the lighter grey hull. So this one does have the Explorer pack. If you prefer, you can have the stainless steel as we saw just over there. I'm going to take you on board, of course, and give you the full tour, and there's a lot to talk about on this one. It's got a high-low platform on here. You could put something like a Williams 285 on there. But the other thing it's got on here, which is very intriguing, this boat's on outdrives. The outdrives will tilt up, and it also has beaching legs. That's what these are. So what you do is you just take that pin there out, drop those down, put the pin back in there, and then the boat will dry out and the beaching legs keep it upright. Because obviously with a V hull, normally it would fall over onto its side. The legs go down either side and support it. That's remarkable. I don't think I've seen beaching legs on a boat of this size before. It's a really, really neat idea. If we head on board then, obviously, as you can see, cockpit area around here, but there's a couple of neat little things underneath this one, for example. If I unclip it first, there is a fridge. We've also got bits of storage around the place, so rope bins here, for example. That one there is the diesel fillers and another storage space. But there's also a really big storage space. If I loop around over here, let me just flip my shoes off a minute. This one is huge. Look at this. So for things like infill cushions, that kind of thing, that's a really big, deep locker. There we go. And there's more. If I come over where Maggie is and lift her unceremoniously out of the way and dump her on the floor. Sorry, Maggie. Check this one out. Look at the space in there. So all the canopies for the cockpit, for example, you can see there's deck chairs in there, that sort of thing. That's a very, very helpful space. There's never enough storage space on boats, but on this one there might be an exception. Perhaps there is. That's a door, so you can close that across, obviously, to completely enclose the cockpit. And the canopy that I mentioned to you goes from the back here up, and you can see the zip for it around. It goes all the way around here, so this whole aft deck can be enclosed. Over here then, docking station, so IPS controller is here, and there's a manual bilge pump here as well. Boat hook clipped neatly in there. It's all about practical thinking. There we go. In case you're wondering, that's an EPIRB up there. That's a distress beacon. Hopefully something you'll never need, but nice thing to have. Door, I'm stating the obvious again, but also a lift window. So that entire window there will hinge up through 90 degrees, so you can open this nicely out. And if we head on inside, very big spacious area in here. Now this has got the oak interior. Normally on these they have the teak. The oak is an option, just depends what you want. The galley is across here. There's also a dishwasher, and this is one of those ones that sings us the song of its people. Are you ready for this? Lovely. That would be great, because when you close it, it went back again. Oh, but it doesn't. I think it's just me that wants that. Lots, again, of bits of storage about the place. Some switch gear along here, engine hatch button is here. I will of course show you that when we go into the engine space. We've got fridge, we've got the sink here. These are all on gas struts to keep these up. You can have a dark colour here if you prefer, and again as standard you have carpet. This particular owner's gone for this nice wood finish. There's a height adjustable table, so that can be dropped down and infilled if required. And then look at the ceiling here with these great big hatches. There's so much light comes into here. That's a sliding one, this one's a fixed one, and there's blinds to come across these, and bug screens. No. Hang on. Okay, there's blinds to come across here, and there's blinds. I'll edit that out later. This one has got gas hob, and then the combination oven and microwave and grill. Again, there are choices there. If you wanted a ceramic hob to go all electric, you could do. If you wanted a gas oven, you could do. But that's a nice big open space, isn't it? Brilliant. Let's press forward a little bit further. very much the finished design to have the two sliding doors. They're big into their what they call commuter style boats, which this is. So it's designed for offshore, serious, heavy weather going. It's the sort of thing you go out pretty much irrespective of conditions. So sliding door on both sides, but also on the helm side, then they've put a door in the bulwark here, or a gate I should say, so that it's a really easy step out. These are not designed to have crew, these are very much owner-operator boats. Then the helm position is here. Now this is all rigged with this flat wheel, so you can stand here at the helm and you can spin this nice and easily. But there's a couple of things you can do here. Firstly, that steering wheel is adjustable in its own right, but also this little chap here, if I pull that one out, you'll see how the whole console then can be brought back. So if you're sat, it brings all of the switch gear to you, it brings the wheel to you, it brings the throttles to you, it brings the balance stern thruster controls. These are these digitally proportional ones where you can vary the thrust, and they've got a hold on them as well. So when you're against the key, you can push the hold button and it keeps it pinned against the key where you get the ropes on. Again, it's all about making an easy owner-operator experience. That then can drop away again, thusly. 22-inch Garmin screens on here. Look at this. I think 16 is standard. This boat's had a lot of options and a lot of upgrades. I think every box was ticked pretty much. Any idea what this is? I'll show you. This is the ultimate in practical finish thinking. So this door slides shut and that locks it in place. And you think, okay, why is that one? Well, I'll show you. If you just want a little bit of ventilation, there we go, you just do that and it holds it in place. I mean, that is going to last a million years, isn't it? Let's be honest. And that's very much the thinking with these. They are Tonka toys. They're absolutely rock solid, designed to just work and keep on working. The roof I mentioned is electric, so we can prod a button somewhere. Roof hatch, here we go, let's try that one, shall we? And that powers back like that. It's worth mentioning that they're developing a flybridge version of this boat. Now, of course, you'll lose the sliding roof, you'll lose that hatch there because there'll be a floor there and another helm position up on top. So if you really like the boat but you thought, well, I really want a flybridge one, then it can be done. It's being developed as we speak. And again, this one has got a bug screen. And you've seen one somewhere. And then you've got the blind, of course, that comes across from the other side. Like so. There we go, sliding door here again. It's great because you can get so much light and air around this boat with all of this open, like this. But you're still sheltered. And you've got the forward sloping screens as well, so it's a proper thing, isn't it? It just feels really nice. That, of course, you drop down when you're underway so you don't lose the visibility, but when you're stationary you have that up because it grants you access down here to the owner's cabin. Now, there are two versions of this. This is a 2-cabin layout. You can have a 3-cabin layout. So I'll take you right up to the front. I'll explain it to you. So this, all of these come with. And again, you've got the big hatches in the ceiling. And again, of course, bug screen and night screen. Some nice lighting in here as well. There is big wardrobe and shelving on this side, and we've got the whole windows as well. Those circular sections are opening sections, and that's an opening hatch overhead. And then behind me here is a really big locker like this. Shelving over there, a nice little seat to tuck yourself away, and a lot of floor space here, as you can see. There we go. Now if we come back a little bit, there's again a really generously sized heads here. So this can be day heads or it can be ensuite to this cabin because there's a door here as well as a door here. So you could close this off and have this as an ensuite, or you can close that one and keep this as a day heads. Depends how you want to use the boat. You know what that is, and you know what that is. And you got the loo there as well. Now, if you go for the 3-cabin layout, what they do is there's a big storage area that goes back underneath the helm position there. And so you have a door here a bit like this, but it's into a cabin, and then there are 2 beds going back underneath there. And then this moves forward into this space. It's more of a rectangle than a square, so a little bit less space that way, but as much space that way and the same facilities. And when you come in here, you lose this bulkhead comes forward a bit, you lose that seating area over there. So you lose those bits, get a slightly smaller heads, but you gain an entire cabin as a result. So it just depends how you use the boat, what your requirements are, what your family situation is, all that kind of thing. You know, if you've got 3 kids, well, that would be fantastic. If it's just a couple with occasional guests, then this works well. Which is probably begging the question now, well, where is that 3rd cabin? If this is or second cabin indeed in this layout, if this is 1 cabin with the option of 2, there must be a 3. And there is. Any guesses? This is very Finnish. It's hidden. And it's under here. Check this out. So that lifts up. Like so. And then that one also lifts. There we go. And closes across. And disappears into there. There we go. Another complete cabin. And then here we've got guest cabin with 2 singles in. Now you can make this into a double. You can see there's tracks on the floor, not on the floor, sorry, on that section just there, and that's so that this bed will power across. If you want that to be a double, then it can be. And then again, bits of storage in places like this. There we are. That's neat, isn't it? And then there's another heads down here. If I turn around, you've got the loo. The shower is there, so it's more like a wet room, this one, so that clips up onto there. And then you've got the sink there, bits of storage dotted around, and a mirror wave. That's where they're keeping it. Again, decent sized window, and of course, yes, there's blinds to come across here. There we go. That's excellent, isn't it? So let's come back out of there. And I know that somebody's going to put in the comments, well, what if somebody puts that down and then sits on it and you can't get out of there? Well, here's what you do. You don't go boating with people like that. In fact, don't even be friends with people like that. That's just stupid. Let's press on around the outside, shall we? We'll come right back through here. That one there is just more storage and a lot of water because we're at a boat show. We'll take a loop around the outside and I'll show you the engine space. There we go, that's where the canopy zips onto. And this, as you can see, is a really good walk-around space. Very high bulwarks, then the rails up on top of that. It's a very safe boat to move around, and it's stepless. You don't walk up here and then have to go up and carry on. It's just a continuous run all the way around. That's the helm position. You can see how convenient that is for getting off and mooring alongside. These are vents here, and then sunbathing up on the bow. You can have infill cushions that go in the centre to make that complete sunbathing all the way across, but obviously then you lose the light into that cabin. Up on top then, in fact I'm going to show you up on top. Let's go right up here, because up here we have got the spotlight that comes across here. That's really helpful, particularly in Finland, because they have a lot of rocks and bits and pieces and they put reflectors on them. So you have that lit up and it lights everything up for you. Antennas are up here. That's that sliding roof. We've got radar and so forth. But also you see the bars across here. These are lifestyle bars. So you can put your stand-up paddleboard or your kayak or your mountain bike or other lifestyle style accessories up on top of the boat. Fantastic. There we go. Let's come back down here. They've put quite a nice little seating area up here. Let's come right down and step down so that I can show you this properly. There we go. That's very nice, isn't it? Nice little area on the boat. And then right up the front we've got the anchor here. This is offset, and the reason they do this is because in Finland what they really like to do is anchor off the stern and put the bow against an island, against the rocks, tie it off, and then they step on and off through here. That's why they have the offset anchoring system. Let's come right on round. I'm going to show you that engine space. But that's a chunky looking boat, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. See, obviously big wipers on all of these screens as well. And it's so easy to move around this boat with all these doors. It's just straight in and out. Oh, didn't show you this. That little chap there, television. marvellously. There we go. Good. Let's go a bit further. So we come right on back here. Again, you've got little rope bins and whatever else about the place. The waste extraction point is there as well. And these are drains, so any water that gets in here drains away. And there's storage underneath these seats. You can see they've got lids on them here like this, so you can get stuff put away. There's a lot of space in here. Now this is quite cunning, because what they've done is they've made a massive opening section here which is powered, but there's also a manual opening section here, and you can get in to the engine room this way, and I can fit through there, and I know this because I tried it earlier and came to the very quick conclusion I'm much better off powering this one up to show you it properly. But yeah, it can be done. Let me move my shoes out of the way before we lose them. We have to undo these. That one, and that one, and that one. There we are. And then that button which I mentioned to us earlier, to you, up here, engine hatch, does that. Table goes up with it, it clears the upholstery, so you don't have to start messing around, taking tables off and taking the upholstery apart and all that. You just undo those catches and hit the button and away you go. There we are. Now there is an IPS option with this boat. You can have IPS 650s, which are 480 horsepower each, or you can have this, which is D6 440s on stern drives. Now, of course, if you had the IPS drives, you couldn't dry the boat out. So with this one, I mentioned those beaching legs, with the stern drives tilted up and the beaching legs down, this one will dry out, which is a very unusual feature on a boat of this size. You can see we've got the generator is down there, and there's a lot of space around these engines, as you can see. Again, it's all about finish, practicality. Outboard engine in here as well for a tender, which can go on the bathing platform. Excellent. Now top speed with these engines is about mid 30s, so I think about 36 knots they're reckoning, and therefore she'll cruise at 25 to 30 and you'll get about 400 miles of range at those sorts of speeds. As I always say, go a lot slower, get a lot further, but in actual fact this sort of boat, it isn't really a going slower boat. This is sort of getting out there and going for it, irrespective of sea conditions pretty much. It's a proper offshore thing, deep V hull. It's designed to punch through at speed, and it does that brilliantly. Look at the space you've got down here. And this box here as well for your bits and pieces. If you have the IPS version, then these engines are mounted further forward, and there's a locker under the bathing platform that then accesses behind them to give you storage behind them. So basically it just moves this storage back and gives you access from further back. There we go. That's a chunk of engineering, isn't it? Let's come out of here and we'll power that one back down. Find the button again. Engine hatch. That's nice and quiet, isn't it? Fantastique. That's French, probably. I chat nonsense, don't I? There we go. Let's put those back down. I think they're the other way around, actually. Yeah, there we go. Lovely. That's got it. Right, I think that we have just about done that. Let's head back up here. There we are, the new Sargo 45. And the chap choking to death in the background. Massive thanks to Marco Marine. They've organised this tour, and massive thanks, of course, to you guys for watching it. Let me know what you think of that in the comments, and we'll catch you on another one of these real soon. Take care, bye-bye. Poor chap.